We are back with some more Among Us tips and tricks, mainly because we couldn't squeeze them all in our first video. Seriously, these are the tips and tricks for Mega Minds people to take your Among Us game to the next level. With these 10 Among Us tips and tricks for players with the biggest brains only. And if you don't like this video and subscribe to this channel right now, you won't get imposter for the next 10 years. It's true. Coming in at number 10, we have the OP vent spot. If you've ever watched any Among Us video ever, you must have heard of the satellite spot over at Mirror HQ, where you can hide behind it to spot an imposter. But that's not quite so effective anymore, since you can now see names behind hiding spots. So we've got an even better tip. Over on the Polis map, there's a vent and admin that's a really oddly placed one. Right in the bottom of the corner, the vent is placed behind a wall. You can just hide in this corner and wait for the imposter to vent. Simple as that. So when they eventually come out, you can catch them red-handed. And from catching an imposter to surviving as one. It's tip number 9, spying on your teammate. This is the one single thing that everyone in the whole game ever in the world needs to know when playing as an imposter. If there are 2 imposters in the game and you're not sat on call, it can be really hard to communicate with each other, especially if you're on other sides of the map from each other, right? And what doesn't help is there's literally no way to tell if the other one has murdered anyone. Or is there? Yes, there is. Believe it or not, there is a way to gather some info about what's going on. It's subtle and you do need to keep an eye out for it. Again, it's only for the players with the biggest brains. Attention to detail could really pay off in this situation. When you're looking at your kill button and it flickers and shows 1, it means that your teammate has killed someone. It could mean they are waiting around the corner, waiting for a double kill, or whether a body is about to be reported. For those of you who don't have a helping hand in Among Us, you need tip number 8, how to stop the reactor meltdown by yourself. So whenever the reactor gets sabotaged, it's pretty easy for people to just ignore it completely. I'm totally one of those people. Someone else will fix it. It's not my problem. But a lot of the time, people don't. No one does. Players who aren't lazy, when you get to the reactor and you find yourself there alone, this is one for you. You can do the reactor sabotage on your own. There is a way. Just go to one of the hand scanners, open the task, and then close it. But wait! As you close it and the task leaves your screen, you must tap the hand. For some weird reason, this tricks the game into thinking that someone is still at the other one. So head to the second scanner and do that. Boom! You've single-handedly saved everyone and will be respected for the rest of your days. But from saving everyone to spying on them. It's number 7, see more on cameras. If you're one of those guys who likes to chill watching the cameras all game long, hopefully after you've finished all your tasks, obviously, you'll love this next tip. It's always frustrating when you're on cams and you just need to see a little smidge more than you actually can. Well, stress no more. There's actually a way you can see more than you're meant to, and we found out how. Go on cams as usual, then exit them, walk down directly, straight back up. We don't know why, so don't ask, but if you open the cameras whilst walking, the camera moves with you and you'll be able to see just a little bit more, even into the cafeteria. Moving on to tip number 6, sacrificing yourself. If you are the ultimate selfless crewmate, there is a way to actually sacrifice yourself to catch an imposter in the act. Whilst roaming around the place, you might notice a camera on the wall or in a corridor is blinking red. If that happens, you can stand right in front of the camera to cover up the blinking. Now, if someone comes along to murder you, anyone watching the camera will see it firsthand and catch them in the act. Then you'll get the imposter just like that. Obviously, this trick is only for players willing to sacrifice themselves for the greater good. Massive respect to you, but you will die. Time to move on to one of the best tricks out there. It's number 5, the Among Us notepads. There is a really cool tool online that an Among Us gamer has made for people to get really good at the game or even play professionally called Among Us Notes. It's a notepad that helps you keep track of everything going on in the game, even showing you where all the vents lead to on the map, including all the common tasks and wiring tasks. It's so sweaty for people to actually use this, but you can put people in the suspicious list and notes and so much more. It's seriously the ultimate tool and can take your game to a whole new level. Now let's move on to number 4, standing still whilst sabotaging. There are a lot of people, and I mean literally most Among Us players, who stand there and open their sabotage menu and don't move. If you're an imposter, people can see you just standing there doing nothing right before a sabotage, and then you just magically start moving around again. I wonder who the imposter could be. Here's how to avoid this. The trick is to act natural whilst you're sabotaging. On PC, you need to change your controls to mouse and keyboard. On PC, then you walk around while still having your menu open. For you mobile users, just use one finger to walk around and the other to operate the menu. It's not quite multitasking, but you do need to keep this in mind when you're an imposter. Real players don't make themselves easy targets now, do they? But another thing that everyone messes up on is number 3, the fake card swipe. Most Among Us players don't know what common tasks means for some reason. Common tasks are literally just tasks that every single player has to complete. So you could really take advantage of this when you're a crewmate. Here's how. The easiest example is over on the Skeld. If you make your way over to admin as a crewmate and notice you do not have the card swipe task, that's very important information. Do not ignore. I repeat, do not ignore. That means nobody else has it either. So if you hang around for a bit, hopefully in front of a camera so you don't get viciously murdered, obviously, you can just wait to catch an imposter pretending to do the swipe task. Remember, if you don't have a common task, nobody else has that task either, so it's easy to spot a faker. If you're the imposter and want to make sure you aren't caught faking these tasks, check your fake track list. If card swipe is there, do not do it. Something even more overpowering comes in at number 2. It's the venting wall hacks. There's yet another way to catch someone who's killed someone in electrical on Skeld, and this helps if you're chilling in security. Rather than staying on cams, just stay in the room itself and glance across to medbay. Even though you can't actually fully see into medbay, you can see the vent there opening and closing in the darkness. Once this happens, jump straight onto cams and you'll see who walks straight out. Boom! Imposter. Caught red-handed. You can do the same thing in storage too when you catch a glimpse of the vent in admin. Speaking of being hidden, we are going to give a special mention to a glitch. And no, it doesn't get a number because it's not a tip, it's a glitch, okay? Glitching outside the map. It's definitely helpful. Over on Mirror HQ, it lets you do certain tasks and you're immune from getting killed. Yay! But you also can't report bodies or do any of the important stuff. Just go to the decontamination and make sure you stand in a very, very specific place when the door closes. If you do manage to get this one right, you get thrown outside of the map. Weird, right? You can move around like nothing happened. Another special mention, the best hidden corpse hiding spots. There are a few spots that imposters use in Among Us to get some secret kills, usually at the admin table, behind the box in electrical, and even behind the chair in navigation. These are great spots to use if you are the imposter because you can keep your kills stealthy. But there is also a great way to find these places as a crewmate. Your report button will light up when you are near a body, even if you can't see it. So just make sure you know exactly where you're at in a room. But finally, the moment you've all been waiting for, it's tip number 1, the electrical strategy. There's a download task in electrical and you can use it to your advantage as the imposter. If you're in there with someone else and want to make a quick escape, pay close attention to them completing the task. If the lone crewmate is doing the task right here, then you can actually make your escape and vent without them spotting you. The task blocks their screen completely and lasts a total of 9 seconds. More than enough time for you to disappear. You can even use this tactic to vent to cams, kill the person in security and vent straight back, and that poor lone crewmate will probably even vouch for you. That's it for today. Let us know how you get on with these tips and tricks for becoming a top-level Among Us player. Let us know in the comments below which ones work best for you. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel, as we promise you'll get imposter next time if you do.